in Cleveland when they traded away everybody basically on the team. And, they had Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Kyle Korver. They had so many guys on that roster, but they traded them all away because they never really could get that chemistry right on that team, if you remember. And LeBron is now on this Los Angeles Lakers team, and they're basically doing a similar experiment, but they got some really good, valuable guys on their roster. First off, we got to talk about Russell Westbrook, man. Russell Westbrook may be, well, as we all know, one of the most polarizing players, and I've said that before on the channel. I will say it again. He is a very polarizing basketball player. But regardless of that, he's still one of the best players in the game. Him joining this Lakers team makes them a super team. His talent is definitely valuable for this Lakers team, and he's going to help them out in the regular season and in the postseason. Many people don't believe that Russell Westbrook can be a guy who is capable of, being that guy who can, share off of other guys on the roster and that he just wants his and only his. But to tell you the truth, if you remember a few years ago when he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder and playing with Paul George, and Paul George had that MVP-like season, especially he finished third in MVP voting that year, and Russell Westbrook, for the most part of that season, pretty much gave the reins to Paul George. He let Paul George do his thing. So many people have this narrative about Russell Westbrook that he is just a selfish, ball-dominant player and that he's not going to be able to do anything else, and he's a stat chaser. And I've been saying this before in the past as well about things like that, but Russell Westbrook is more than capable of being a player that can change his game, especially helping this Los Angeles Lakers team win an NBA championship. And in my opinion, I believe that can be true. Sure, he may not be the best three-point shooter on this roster. Definitely not. There's a few guys on this team who can shoot, but there are many guys on this roster who shoots well over 40% from three. And this Lakers team overall, they are actually a really good team. They have a mixture of older players and young guys on this roster. And let's not forget about Dennis Schroeder, who really took the biggest L out of anybody, let's be honest. But regardless of that, this roster has many, many talented players on it. They have Carmelo Anthony. As you all know, Carmelo Anthony had a pretty solid season last year for the Portland Trail Blazers. And I'm not surprised. I'm glad that he left Portland because they weren't going to really go anywhere. And it was just going to be the same thing over and over and over again in that city. So Carmelo Anthony, getting him is a really good pickup, and for him to finally go out and win an NBA championship, this is the perfect opportunity for him to do that, especially since his other, guy in the corners, Chris Paul, he wasn't able to do that. Hopefully Carmelo Anthony can go out and win this NBA championship and really just cementing his legacy that he has now. And you have guys like Dwight Howard, who's already done that with his Lakers team, who they're bringing back. And Dwight Howard definitely comes with a lot of benefits. He's a great rim protector. He didn't really get the opportunities he should have gotten last season on the Philadelphia 76ers. But rejoining this Lakers team, he's definitely going to have that rim protection, especially since they lost some of their perimeter defending, losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Alex Caruso, losing those guys like that. But they replaced them with a great rim protection as well, bringing back Dwight Howard in the paint, which is going to be very beneficial. You still have Marc Gasol, who's a pretty great player and a great three-point shooter as well. Also, of course, getting Trevor Ariza on the roster. We all know how good of a player Trevor Ariza is. He was on that Houston Rockets team that almost made it to the NBA Finals that season. He played a big role on that roster. And him now joining this Lakers team, he is older, of course, but he still is going to provide that defending and that shooting that these Lakers team needs. So Wayne Ellington is another great shooter for this Lakers team who's going to definitely play a big role for this roster. And I believe one of my favorite signings for this team is getting Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn, as you all know, he had a good run with the Miami Heat. He really came out and proved everybody wrong, especially with the talent he had. Nobody really expected that from Kendrick Nunn, and he's joining this Lakers team, and he's definitely going to help this team in many ways, especially, that Miami Heat team is now it's too many great players on that roster for Kendrick Nunn to even go back to. So him going to the Lakers is giving him a great opportunity to really have a productive minutes on this team. Can't forget about Malik Monk, man. Malik Monk is a beast. He's a very underrated player. He didn't really get as much playing time he should have when he was on the Charlotte Hornets, but in the moments where it mattered most for that Hornets team, he definitely came up in those situations. He's a great shooter. And the Hornets were a better team while he was on the court anyway. So for the Lakers to get their hands on Malik Monk is a huge plus, a huge benefit for this team. He's definitely going to help this Lakers team on the offensive end of the basketball court in many ways, especially with his shooting. So overall, I mean, looking at this Lakers team, they re-signed Talen Horton-Tucker, and we all know what he can do as well with his ability to shoot, to attack the basket, to create his own shot. He has many great skills and things that he can still work on to improve his game as well. But this Lakers team, they're loaded. They have a great roster. They are older. Yes, they are older, but that doesn't mean that they're still not going to win. And they can go very far. They can go really, really far. They can go to the NBA Finals. I mean, if you look at it on paper, this team should be the favorite to come out of the Western Conference anyway. The Western Conference is going to be strong, but the Eastern Conference next year is going to be like even stronger, which is crazy to say in my opinion. But man, basketball is really looking good this year. And for the Lakers, you know, before I was very hesitant about this move with them getting Russell Westbrook on the roster, but with the pieces that they surrounded this team with, this Lakers team has definitely caught my eye, and this team is going to make it very far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video. You know, the Lakers, they got a lot to prove. And LeBron going into, year 19 now, this is going to be a very, very good season, and hopefully he can win that 5th ring. The time with Kobe Bryant with the rings, and that can maybe close the case for him possibly being the greatest player of all time. But once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every week. Have a great day. Peace.